Hey everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with another roster review video. This is my roster review for February 2022. Now, this video is a bit difficult to make for me because of what's been going on in the marketplace over the last couple of months. And, but it's all about the truth. It's all about finding out what's going on in the market, following it, and going with the flow, and doing a roster review and checking out, how much stuff you have in your collection and what it's worth now, and comparing it to where it was before, and keeping track of what you're doing is a really great way for you to stay on top of things in the app. Now, if you like this video, please hit like after you see it, and also you can also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these videos, and you can also join the channel as a member if you like. And I do have member giveaways and subscriber giveaways on my live streams, so check that out if you like. It's right down below. Also, comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this video. Are you looking after your roster? Are you checking things out? Are you keeping track? I do it, through a couple of different things. I do it on, Ecomi Wiki, and I do it on Vault Value. That's an app and everything. I'll put the website link to Ecomi Wiki in the description. That way, if you guys want to check that out, and maybe you can put in your own collectibles there, you can see how they're doing on the chart and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I also do it manually as well. I really find that it's easy for me to go in there, and really important for me to check out what I'm doing and actually write it down, keep track, and then I can really see where I'm at. And I like to do it, every couple of weeks for sure. And, that way I can see where I'm going. So I'm going to compare what my roster looked like when I started doing this in January. And you can actually go back and watch that video. And sorry, that was December. I have that first video that I did. And then I have another video in January that I did. And now this is my February video. So I hope you enjoy it. It's really eye-opening, and it shows where we're at. And that's really what it's about, right? Let's just be honest where we're at, and we go forward with the right information. So anyway, my roster review. This is December right here. I just wanted to go back in time, step back in the time machine, and just totally show you where I was at in December. So my total spent at that time was $3,417. Okay, that's how many gems I put into the app. My total market value at that time was $9,093. All right. So I had gains at that time of $6,475. All right. And master collector points, I wasn't calculating them at that time. This is mid-December. So I wasn't quite calculating them at that time, but I started to do it later. So anyway, after December, I had joined the app in early October, and by the time I got to the end of December, I was actually up 6,000 gems, 6,500. So that was really good. I was quite happy with where I was going. I had golden moments, things like that. So anyway, then we fast forward up to January. Now, January is when this app started to really explode. So I put more money into the app. So let's check it out right here. I was up to 8,892 total spent in terms of gems. My total market value at that time leapfrogged hugely to $37,125. And so my total gains in January was $28,231. So that is massive. Now, we saw huge gains in all sorts of areas, and I definitely benefited from that as well. I also had golden moments that I got on the drop, so the discrepancy was quite high, 60 gems all the way up to wherever they were. And, so that really inflated my number as well, right? Just honestly. I started counting my master collector points then because I was stacking a lot of comics, and I had 89.75 points that I was going to be getting every day from as far as I could tell, somewhere around that range. So that was January. Okay, so now we leapfrog ahead about a whole month, probably a month and a half, because I did this about mid-January or so, mid to late January. You can go back and watch that video on my channel as well. It's really interesting as well. So let's go to where we are now today. So this is how I keep track of my stuff. This is kind of small to see, but I keep a list of all of my comics here, all of my collectibles over there. What I do is I list the actual one with the edition number. So if you if you zoom in a little bit, you can see I put the comic book with the edition number and all that kind of stuff. And then I show the rarity right here. And then I go the purchase price, okay? And then I do the market value. And then I add up the master collector points right there. This is just the way I do it. Anyway, so all my comic books I spent, okay? And this is in total of what I have in the app. 4,216, and my current market value for my comic book is 4,344. So I'm still up about 128 gems, which isn't a lot, but I'm still in the positive. And a lot of these are more recent purchases that I've made because I've done a lot of changes to my roster. So I'm still up a little bit, so that's okay for me. Remember, I'm in this long term, so I'm not too worried about that. Anyway, down to my collectibles here. I show all my collectibles with the edition numbers and everything. I do the rarity same way. I do the purchase price and the market value. So my purchase price is 11,406. All right, and my market value on my collectibles is 19,221, which is a difference of positive 7,800. All right, so then I got right here, I got my points. I got 23 points for Master Collector in my comics, and I got 10.5 points on my collectibles, and then you add on to my daily points, and it equals around 61.5 points. All right, so let's just scroll out right here. So this is how I do it. Now, I'd highly recommend all of you doing this. I do this in InDesign, so it's not like a, it's not like a spreadsheet or anything. I have to manually do it, but I kind of like doing it. This goes back to my days as owning a toy shop where I had to keep really detailed books, for inventory and for taxes and stuff. So it's kind of like a routine that I have. I really like to keep track. I also have one of these for my real world collectibles as well. So that's a totally separate document, right? But anyway, I find it really interesting and really kind of nice to do this. So what I'll do is on the fly as I sell and buy stuff, depending on what moves I make in the market, I'll just go back to this document and I'll make the adjustments, and I just save it for the following month. That way, when I get to the end of the month of the following month, then I have my report, and then I can actually look at it on the fly so I can see my gains and losses in total. This really helps when I'm making decisions about what I want to get in the marketplace and when I want to sell stuff. You can do this on the Ecomi Wiki site. You can do this on the Vault Value app as well to some degree. And, it's just a really good idea to keep these things, in track. So if you don't know what the Vault Value app is, you can go to the App Store and you can download it. And it's a pretty decent, little bit of software. You can put in how much all your stuff, not your exact stuff, but you can put it in and you can kind of keep track of it. But, it's harder to keep track of how much you purchased and how much it's, it only really keeps track of how much it's worth. But you can actually do that more on the Ecomi Wiki site, so you can see your total vault value. This way, I actually like to do it all on one page, all right? So anyway, if I scroll down here to February, so this is kind of the breakdown. So I kind of do a smaller summary, and then I do a bigger summary here. And it says my total spent, up to this point was 15,622, all right? And my total market value is 23,565. So my gains, are 7,943. So 7,943 is how much higher my portfolio or my collectible value is compared to how much I spent. And so my daily Master Collector points are 61.5 daily points. All right, so things have changed. I've lost Master Collector points because I have way less items. I had tons of comic books in my previous video. You can go back and actually check that out, and you can see if you really want to compare. But anyway, it's not interesting. So if I go back here, it's a really good way. Like I said, so December I was up 6,475. And then in January, I was up 28,000, which is huge, right? So you can see the jump. And then, of course, the market has gone down a lot since then. And I've made sales as well. I've sold some of my golden moments to get Superman and everything. And you'll see in a minute, that can be costly too. And so I'm at 7,943. So I'm still up from where I was in December. And I'm still up, actually, in my overall collectibles. I'm not down a lot. I'm up about 8,000 gems, which is quite nice, actually, if you think about liquidating and real world, value. Now that we know when the MTL comes, if I do sell everything, whatever it would be, I wouldn't get this amount because there'd be fees as well and things like that. But, this is sort of a general thing of where I'm at. Now let's take a look. I just wanted to show you some of my better purchases. So this is one of my more recent purchases. So I made this Spider-Man Ultra Rare. I went into this level quite recently, and it's up 100 gems from where I bought it a few days ago. So that's really good news for me. I hope this one continues, but this is going to be a long-term hold for me. So I'm really getting into the higher collectibles. That's why I have less Master Collector points, because I have actually less collectibles than I did in January, but I have higher quality collectibles, in my opinion anyway. And, even though though my vault value is quite a bit down from where it was in terms of my gains, you know, it's actually still doing pretty good for me considering how far things have dropped in the last little bit. But this is for me long term, right? So anyway, let's go on to my next little screen right here. This is one of my nicer gains that I had that I made a long time ago. I purchased Spider-Man Rare at $433. He's $950 at this moment. This is February the 28th, the last day of the month, and he's up about 517 gems from where I purchased it. So, you know, two Spider-Mans doing well. Spider-Man is always a safe bet if you really want to go into the app and look for stuff to go after. Spider-Man is usually quite safe, right? So think about that. Now, let's just go on the flip side and look at one of my biggest losses so far, and that's one of my Supermans. Now, I had 3 at one point. Okay, I sold one a while ago to go after those ultra rare comics and a bunch of other stuff. So I still have one that I bought for, you know, lower, and it's up about, you know, about 2,000 or so from where I bought it, so that's good. But this particular one I bought a little bit higher, and this is what happens. I bought him at 5,080. He's now currently sitting around 3,500 or so. So he's, you know, about 1,600 gems under. So, you know, like that's what's happening, right? He's gone down a bit, so it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get back, but I'm looking at it long term, so I'm not super concerned about it. Anyway, that's my roster review video. It's really quick and simple. Let me know what you think. How's your roster doing? Have you been keeping track of what you've been doing like I have? You know, I think it's really important for everybody to do that, just so you know when you're making purchases, you know, it gives you something to look at. You can actually keep track of like how much your vault is up or down, you know, that kind of thing as you move forward. It really does help when you're like looking at, you know, making decisions about the stuff you want to buy and the stuff you want to collect. There's certain items that I have that I just collecting and I'm not going to sell them, like the Spider-Man, the Superman, and all that stuff. Then there's other ones I used, you know, to make gains in the market, and I think I'm still doing okay, up almost, you know, 8,000 still right now, even though we've had a whole month of pretty much like prices going down, and I think we're going to still get some more of that, right? Anyway, so let's see what happens. I'm going to do this again next month at the end of March. I'm really going to be curious to see where my roster is going to be at that point, and I really want to know what you think as well. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Happy collecting, and I'll see you again.